Welcome to the 137th Annual Farmington High School Commencement Ceremony. My name is Dan Pickens, Principal of Farmington High School. While this is not the traditional format that we normally graduate our seniors at FHS, we are still gathered all across Farmington, across the world, to honor and celebrate our amazing class of 2020. I will be asking for some audience participation throughout the ceremony with some standing up. Please feel free to join in. Class of 2020 seniors, parents and guardians, friends and family across the globe, school board members, district and building administrators, and all other members of our virtual audience, please rise for the presentation of colors and the national anthem sung by our very own FHS New Dimension Choir. Thank you, New Dimension Choir. Members of the audience, please be seated as we listen to a special performance of Pomp and Circumstance played by the Minnesota Orchestra. Thank you, members of the FHS Wind Ensemble under the direction of Miss Erin Holmes, members of New Dimension Choir under the direction of Miss Megan Dimmich, the FHS Color Guard, and the Minnesota Orchestra. Next, I would like to introduce Tommy Gallagher, Student Council President, to begin our ceremony with the senior reflection. Not only is Tommy the Student Council President, he's also an NHS Executive Board member. Tommy was on the varsity soccer and tennis teams. He is on Link Crew, Speech, and BPA. Tommy wants to go to UW-Madison to study political science. Please join me in welcoming one of our 2020 graduates, Tommy Gallagher.
Hi, my name is Tommy Gallagher, and I was the 2019-2020 Student Council President. Thank you, administration, teachers, and staff for letting me speak today, with a special thank you for the film crew for making it possible under these special circumstances. To be quite frank, this isn't how I wanted to give this speech, just like you watching at home did not want to graduate in this way. On the bright side, for me at least, I can do this speech multiple times, so know that this is the very best that I could do. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to talk about today, and I wasn't sure how much I wanted to address COVID-19. I thought mainly about how I should talk about the start of high school with freshman year, or should I focus most of my attention on senior year alone? I didn't think at first of the years in between, what it took to go from freshman year to senior year. In AP Psychology this year, we learned about the brain's cognitive processes, and one of them is the serial position effect. The serial position effect is defined as the brain's tendency to recall most recent term and the first term in a list easiest. Just like in the case of high school, it can be applied to remembering freshman year and senior year the easiest. But we have to remember the years in between, what it took to go from freshman to senior year. Freshman year is absolutely crazy, and most of us had no clue what we were doing. We thought we were too cool for link leaders, and then we became the link leaders, complaining about the freshmen who thought they were too cool for link leaders. Freshman year, you sit in the back of the football stands and get yelled at to go to the hill. And by senior year, you're the ones yelling at the freshmen to go to the hill. Freshman year, everyone entered the place where arguably the most growth in life happens, high school. And the thought of that can be quite scary. Suddenly, there are students you've never seen before coming from the other middle school, also known as Dodge. Despite being in the same city, we were from different middle schools, and we didn't know each other. Our little world had just doubled. Then add in all the grades above us. It makes for a quite scary situation. The main staircase freaked us out, especially when you walked on the wrong way and upperclassmen gave you the eyes. Yet, we continued to grow. We became more reliant on ourselves to do our schoolwork and participate in our sports. We experienced our first high school homecoming and what a high school dance is like firsthand instead of just seeing it in TV and the movies. We took freshman year classes that may have expanded our views on education and exposed a passion for a subject area we had been unknown to before. Despite all of the growth of freshman year, you probably still look back and cringe a little, or a lot. We were at the bottom. We started from the bottom, now we here, as our senior shirts say. But how did we get from being a freshman to a senior? Sophomore year and junior year, so much growth is achieved, but sadly overlooked. Think back to what you were like sophomore year. It's the year we got our driver's license and our radius expanded further than how far our parents would be willing to drive us, upperclassmen would take us, or how far we could bike. High school didn't feel as big as it did the year prior, and we became more comfortable in our own skin. We got to go to more school dances like sophomore year homecoming. We got jobs, took harder classes, joined clubs, and excelled. We might have even taken our first AP class, experienced our first AP test, and we started to think about what we would do after we leave high school. Then, junior year, we become upperclassmen. The difference between sophomore and junior year is astronomical. We grew in our athletic abilities and maybe got to play on the varsity team. In our clubs, we started to take leadership positions. We became teacher assistants for teachers that we had grown connections with over the previous years of our education. And all of us took the ACT at least once in our high school career. We prepared for a test that partially determined our future, despite its validity to do so or not. It is a stressful time for all of us, and we got through it. Junior year, we get to go to homecoming and junior prom, and I'll say it, we had an awesome junior prom. We had prom in US Bank Stadium. How many other people can say that? How cool is that? And even then, we prepared to leave the four walls of high school. We toured colleges and got more invested in our jobs, or pursued other passions that could extend beyond the 4 years we had spent at FHS. In these years, we met our best friends, we made new friends, and we said goodbye as upperclassmen friends had their graduation moment. We did so much in these years, and I hope everyone can look back every once in a while and look back at how much they achieved. Then it was senior year. We are now the top dogs on campus. We get the best seats at football games, and we know how to get around the school. And we're pretty comfortable in our own skin at this point. We all know what every past senior says, to soak up every moment, because this year goes by so fast. And so we did. We celebrated our last first day of high school. We did senior sunrise. We celebrated our last homecoming. We went hard at every football game. We cheered our amazing girls' hockey and basketball teams that went to state, and we made sure to take in every moment. But then we got comfortable. We looked forward to events like Decision Day, prom, and graduation, typical graduation that every other graduating class has had. COVID-19 took away or changed events that we had looked forward to. It's hard when you've prepared and look forward to something for so long to adapt quickly. We are graduating amidst a global pandemic. That sentence alone is insane. But we are still graduating. This is still our graduation, so as we have learned to do so with distance learning, this moment right now, and dealing with how COVID has changed our lives, let's adapt. This moment calls for a celebration. So don't forget the mentality we all went into with this year. Soak up this moment. It's not the typical graduation, but that doesn't invalidate the task at hand. We have done it. We have graduated high school. Take a moment and remember this special day. Lastly, as cheesy as this sounds, we are closing a chapter of our lives and opening a new. Despite trying times, we all have brilliant futures. Whether it be a 4-year college, technical school, workforce, or serving our country, we all have something to look forward to, a new goal to achieve, and a difference to make. Push forward and continue to follow your goals. Let's all be excited about what life has to hold in the future, because it is our future to hold. We may not know what will happen, but we should continue to make plans, continue to dream, and continue to execute our intentions. The possibilities for us are endless if we try hard enough. To the class of 2020, if you only remember this last part of my speech, in part due to the serial position effect, remember to look back at the past and what you've achieved. Seize every moment with the phrase carpe diem, and look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. That was wonderful. Congratulations to the class of 2020, and welcome to all the families, friends, faculty, and community members who provided support and encouragement to our seniors along their educational journey, leading to this occasion, their high school graduation. At this time, I would like to recognize our school officials and special guests who normally would be up on stage here with me, but today they're joining us virtually. You're going to hear from many of them later on in the ceremony. School board members Julie Singwald, Jacqueline Doyle, Melissa Sasser, Jake Cordes, Steve Carrero, and Rebecca Coletta. Thank you for your trust and support. Superintendent Berg and FHS staff speaker Todd Karich, thank you for being part of this momentous occasion for the class of 2020. Finally, a big thank you to Mark Tauchi and Randy Mathis, our video crew, for getting everything put together tonight. It is quite the production to get all this together for such a large community event like graduation on a normal year, let alone preparing for an entire spring of virtual events during a global pandemic, and still teaching classes. Please join me in a virtual round of applause for all of these people. Class of 2020. This was supposed to be an awesome year. I graduated high school in 2000. I remember when it finally hit me how cool it was going to be a part of the class of 2000. The first class of the new millennium. I was pumped. After 2000, the next really memorable year was going to be 2020. It rolls right off the tongue. 2020. Sounds cool? It even represents perfect vision. 2020. It was going to be so good. We were rolling right along. The girls' basketball team even made it to the state championship game. Well, then we all know what happened. Needless to say, it has been downhill since then. I'm not trying to bring up all these negative things, but not only has COVID-19 turned our lives upside down, have you heard of this new species of bee that's in the United States now? The murder hornet? I mean, that's crazy. Are you kidding me? Have you heard about these things? Murder hornets. Apparently they're in Washington now. They eat other bees for breakfast, literally. Thanks, 2020. It's been great so far. Safe to say 2020 has not been as awesome as we thought it was going to be. But we keep moving on. At this point, I guess we can either feel sorry for ourselves for what we lost, for what we missed out on, for what we were supposed to get but we're not going to, or we can respond with positivity, with perseverance and grit. We can respond by being owners of our own actions and making a difference in our local and global communities. These are things that you've practiced throughout all of your time at FHS. Now it's time to put it into action. In my life, I've been through some tremendous highs and some devastating lows. If I've learned one thing from my experiences, is that we can only control our attitudes. And that has a profound impact on those around us. Your family needs you right now. Your community needs you. The world needs you. Now more than ever. History proves that opportunity follows difficult times. The class of 2020 is in a perfect position to take advantage of this opportunity. Now is the time to show the world what Generation Z is made out of. A pandemic got us to where we are today, but it is you who will be changing our future course. Literally. The one thing that is constant in this topsy-turvy moment is you. The world will eventually come back to some sort of normalcy. We know that. And the one thing that we know for sure is that you will be there to fill the need. The one thing that the world will need for sure is your expertise. It's your imagination, your passion, your emotion, and your tenacity. Believe in yourself, class of 2020. Take advantage of this unique opportunity that you have. I'm proud to be your principal. I mean that. I'm confident in saying that we are graduating an incredible group of individuals that can advocate for themselves, can manage their own time. They aren't afraid to take risks, and you will accept any challenge. I know that. Class of 2020, if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine, but at least listen to Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you wish to see in the world. That means more now to me. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Now is your opportunity. The world is waiting for what you will do next. Thank you. At this time, I am pleased to welcome our ISD 192 Superintendent, Mr. Jason Berg, who will share some words of welcome and reflection. Mr. Berg.
FHS graduating class of 2020, to say the last 2 months have been unimaginable would be an understatement. You went from finishing trimester 2 to cheering on the girls basketball team at Williams Arena and getting ready for spring break to the world's longest senior skip day of all time. There is no doubt that COVID-19 virus has changed the world you will join after graduation. But it is not the first major change that has taken place in your lifetime. In fact, one could argue that it is the third. You were born just after or just before the terrorist attacks of 9/11, and you were just entering first grade when Apple released the first iPhone. Both very different events, both changed the world that you live in forever. As a Gen Z, you probably can't even imagine a world without a smartphone, the internet, or social networks. Change and disruption will be a part of your life. They are neither negative nor positive. They just are. How you view and respond to each will determine the attribute that is given. As I think about the situation we find ourselves in, I am reminded of 3 quotes. The first is from Maya Angelou, who many of you may know from 9th grade English. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. The second also comes from Miss Angelou. You may not control all events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Remember, regardless of what comes your way, you have the capacity to make a positive impact. The choice is always yours to make. George Couros, who is an education innovator, also said change will come our way. We can go through change or we can grow through change. We grow when we seek solutions rather than letting obstacles hinder us. Now more than ever, the world needs solution finders. Those that can go beyond simply identifying the obstacles to those that present realistic solutions that support the greater good of our society. I have seen that this class has excelled in the classroom. I have seen how the class has served the community. And more importantly, I've seen how this class has supported each other. I may not know what your future holds, but I do know that each of you will make a positive impact based on your interests, passions, and strengths. Steve Jobs was onto something when he said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. The goal of school, which was created over 160 years ago, was to prepare students for a very predictable future. History tells us the future is anything but predictable. Your life will be full of change and disruption. Embrace it. Your experiences in Farmington area public schools were designed to equip you with the knowledge, skills, and dispositions to find your own success in this rapidly changing world we now find ourselves in. FHS Class of 2020, remember, you were not prepared for one thing, you were prepared for anything.
Thank you, Superintendent Berg. I really like that quote from Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. I can certainly get on board with that. Our student speaker tonight is Aaron Cruzy. He was selected by the faculty from 45 students graduating as distinguished scholars. Aaron is on the varsity cross country and track teams. He is also an active member in NHS, math team, faith club, link crew, and We Create Change. So he's got a lot of time on his hands to write speeches, I'm sure. He plans on attending the University of Minnesota Twin Cities to study plant and microbiology with, of course, a minor in math. Ladies and gentlemen, your student speaker, FHS graduate, Aaron Cruzy.
Good evening, esteemed students, teachers, administrators, faculty, and family. While I do not have the opportunity to stand in front of you today to deliver this message, I hope it finds each of you safe and in good health. I also would like to humbly thank the administration, teachers, and faculty of FHS for giving me this opportunity today. Even without the traditional means to celebrate our graduation, I am still extremely proud of all of you. The last 13 years have been spent leading up to this accomplishment, and by no means is it diminished or discounted by the current situation. With the help of the amazing teachers and staff of FHS, all of us are here to celebrate one of the biggest accomplishments of our lives, and I am nothing but proud to be a part of such an event. Our journey here has not been easy, both in and out of school. Our generation was born into a new century and immediately began facing adversity. We were babies when the terrorist attacks of 9/11 took down the World Trade Center. We were in elementary school when the housing market crashed and lived through the ensuing recession, watching our family and friends lose their jobs. We have not seen a day in our lives unafflicted by war. We have watched the climate of our planet deteriorate, while world leaders sat back and did nothing. Now we are graduating in the midst of a global pandemic, one that has affected both our personal lives and the global economy. Aside from global challenges, we have encountered our own local ones. We've struggled with grades,
staying up late to finish those assignments we procrastinated on. Some of us were affected by the school boundary line changes several years ago, causing us to switch schools. We've lost friends, made new ones, and grown as people over these last 13 years. These years have been some of the best, the worst, the most challenging, and the most rewarding years I have ever experienced. But this too shall pass. We have made it through everything thrown at us before, and I firmly believe we will make it through this and come out stronger. One of my favorite AP Psych terms this year is grit, the passion and perseverance in the pursuit of long-term goals. I feel it is especially relevant now. Shout out to Laube and Lund. While it may be easy to focus on the negatives, we have to try not to. Nothing positive has come out of thinking and focusing on the negative. Today we are being handed the baton. We are no longer the kids, the students, the naive high schoolers who stand in the corner while the adults talk. We are the adults now, the decision makers, and we can be the generation that solves hunger, poverty, racism, climate change, and the endless list of issues facing us. We will become doctors, lawyers, teachers, managers, military personnel, service workers, chefs, and careers we haven't even dreamt of. We will achieve our dreams and discover new ones. Despite all of these different paths we will take, the class of 2020 will become leaders. Being a leader doesn't come with a salary, a benefits package, or even an official title. But being a leader is something we can all be, something that is needed in our coming future. I believe the class of 2020 will succeed in becoming great leaders. To those that know me, they know that I love running and know that I have been an avid member of Farmington's cross-country and track teams since middle school. So it is almost inevitable that I bring it up today and throw in a sports analogy. In all my years of running cross-country for FHS, nothing I have learned has been more important than the value of teamwork. At meets, we each are running our own race, completely independent of each other. Sometimes we end up running alone. Sometimes we end up getting mashed into a pack of kids that rivals the line on Nacho Day. Almost always we finish at different times. However, the only way to win a meet is if everyone has a good race. One star runner doesn't take the team to state. It takes 7 of us working together and running our best to get there, which we have the last 2 years, just saying. My point is that the gun just went off, and we are starting the race that is life. While there are a lot more than 7 of us running, we are all on the same team. The only way to win, to solve problems, to be successful, to become good and influential people is to run together. We have spent the last 13 years warming up, and now it is our time to change the world. With all that we have been through, I know we can grow and become the most compassionate, the most successful, and the greatest group of people the world has ever seen. To the class of 2020, it is our time. Enjoy the memories we have made, and be excited for the many more to come. I want you to leave here today not with a sense of sadness for what we have lost, but with a sense of hope for what we have left to come. I wish all of you the best, and will forever hold my time here at FHS in the highest regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, for those words of wisdom, and thank you for being a part of this special day. Our faculty speaker this evening is Mr. Todd Karich. Mr. Karich was selected by the senior class to address the graduates on this very special occasion. It is important to note he was also selected as last year's staff speaker at graduation, so he must be doing something right. Mr. Karich has been in education for 19 years. He teaches in our social studies department here at FHS, mostly economics. Mr. Karich has coached boys hockey, boys soccer, and girls soccer during his time here. I have had the pleasure of coaching with Mr. Karich a couple of times. He has a very unique way of holding students and athletes to a high standard in his class, while weaving in personal stories and experiences. I have known Todd for many, many years, and I'm proud to call him a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2020 faculty speaker, Mr. Todd Karich.
Good evening, class of 2020, or shall I say 2020. Congratulations on your historic achievement. Right now, at this point in time, you're probably thinking, what can I now do with this new garnered high school diploma? Well, let's look at it this way. You can go vote now, because you're probably 18. You can start a family. You can buy booze and cigs. You can go serve your country in a military conflict and die in war. All right, I'm just kidding. You can't do any of those things besides go serve your country. So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do during this time period in our nation's history? Well, ultimately, you are going to hear a lot about economics. You're going to hear much about a subject matter that I hold near and dear. So today, we're going to talk about economics, but first we must define it. It is the study of how individuals and nations make choices on how to use their scarce resources to fulfill their wants and needs. And you must start to consider, what are you going to do going forward in the future to take care of your wants and needs? So I figure we could end your educational career the way you started it. I'm going to read you a story. A story that you once used to gather in circles and listen to the kindergartner teacher talk to you. You would get excited. So my hope is that perhaps we can understand from this parable its words of wisdom. So an American investment banker was taking a much-needed vacation in a small coastal Mexican village when a small boat with one fisherman docked. The boat had several large fish in it. The investment banker was impressed by the quality of the fish and asked the Mexican how long it took to catch them. The Mexican replied, only a little while. The banker then asked why he didn't stay out longer and catch more fish. The Mexican fisherman replied, he had enough to support his family's immediate needs. The American asked, but what do you do with the rest of your time? The Mexican fisherman replied, I sleep late, fish a little, play with my children, take a siesta with my wife, and stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play guitar with my amigos. I have a full and busy life, senor. The investment banker scoffed. I am an Ivy League MBA and I could help you. You could spend more time fishing, and with the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. And with the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats till eventually you would have a whole fleet of fishing boats. Instead of selling your catch to the middleman, you could sell directly to the processor, eventually opening up your own cannery. You could control the product, processing, and distribution. Then he added, of course, you would need to leave this small coastal fishing village, move to Mexico City where you could run your own growing enterprise. The Mexican fisherman asked, but senor, how long will all of this take? To which the American replied, oh, about 15 or 20 years. But then what? Asked the Mexican. The American laughed and said, that's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an initial public offering, sell your company's stock to the public and become very rich. You could make millions. Millions, senor? Then what? To which the investment banker replied, then you would retire. You could move to a small coastal fishing village where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take a siesta with your wife, stroll to the village in the evenings where you could sip wine and play your guitar with your amigos. The parable of this story is something I wanted you to hear as you go forward in your future. The opportunities before you will be many, but what will you learn from it? Perhaps you learn to follow your passion, to try to fulfill your dreams. But what happens if you don't get your dream? What happens if the work you put in doesn't result in what you wanted it to result in? Well, class of 2020, I must tell you, sometimes You may not accomplish your dream, but I will say this to you. You can always bring your passion with you, regardless of what you are doing. But more importantly, when we think about this story, there's another thing I want you to get out of it. It's the reaction from the fisherman. His reaction is key. When I consulted with my friend James and said I had to give this speech, he said, maybe you want to include the following. And this Mexican fisherman did exactly this. He was quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Advice that we could all use during this particular time period. Perhaps you're sitting in a living room right now celebrating with your parents and grandparents tonight, but how the world is changed from one generation to the next. For example, in class, you might have said to me, Mr. Karich, my mom is texting me. Can I reply? Your grandparents told your parents, don't call unless somebody's dead and the house is on fire. If you fought with your siblings, you would get a timeout, class of 2020. Your grandparents told your parents, go fight outside so you don't break any furniture. Oh, the times have changed. And trust me, I know. You have been robbed of things. And sometimes when we get robbed, much like the fisherman, we might not catch anything. But when we get robbed of the things or don't catch any fish, sometimes we must find joy in the process or the peace that may come with it. Because oftentimes that may be a gift that we may not recognize. So 2020, Farmington High School, fellow Tigers, you are a Tiger from now on until you are gone. And what does that mean? Well, I know what it means to me, and I can say this to you, class of 2020. I am so thankful for all that you do, from working in our grocery stores to working in our senior living facilities, completing all the other essential tasks that allow me and everyone else to fulfill their basic wants and needs. We appreciate you so much. In fact, your journey in life began a long time ago. And I can look at Farmington High School only to know how special you are. I am not surprised by your generosity. In fact, we've seen it time and time again throughout the course of your years here at Farmington High School. Whether it be the simple example of a robotics team going above and beyond to help out some families in need. Or maybe it can be a story like a girls' basketball team, giving a community hope, knowing that you can do anything if you put your minds to it. So, trouble has come your way. I would say this to you, 2020. There is great opportunity for you. And I would advocate, don't be sad. Don't be sour. Don't be bitter. Get better. Perhaps this graduation ceremony was on your bucket list. You really wanted it. But things have simply changed. And allow me to quote 1990s television icon Jerry Seinfeld. Sometimes a bucket list, you need to change the first letter B and replace it with an F and go and sit down on the couch. But ultimately, I say this to you. Keep on keeping on, Farmington High School class of 2020. You will be missed, and your generation is not going to do great things. You already are doing great things. And keep helping us get better every day. On behalf of the Farmington High School community and staff, thank you, 2020. We will miss you, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Mr. Karich. I'd expect nothing less. That was great. When preparing for this virtual ceremony, I knew that we couldn't just copy-paste all of the elements of a traditional ceremony. We needed something unique for the class of 2020, something you would remember. At this time, I'd like to introduce one more member of the class of 2020. When I first asked her to be a part of the graduation ceremony, she was hesitant. Not because she was nervous or didn't want to. No. She was worried about taking the focus away from the rest of the class. She didn't want the attention. That is just the type of person she is. Selfless, humble, and caring. What she didn't know is that I can be very convincing. So here to perform an original song written for the FHS class of 2020 is Aime Jimenez, playing her song, Bittersweet.
Remember when we used to think it would never end? Remember how we used to feel after a football team win? Remember who had your back all these years? Remember now the future is near. Remember the cheering till you couldn't, hearing all the voices of the choir and the marching band's new song. Remember the home games with your teammates, the whole school celebrating, the dances where you dance the night away. Oh, these memories have been made, now they're complete. Bittersweet. Remember all those late nights out with your friends, windows down, music loud, wishing it would never end. Remember all the struggles you have faced. Don't let the lessons go to waste. And remember the cheering till you couldn't, hearing all the voices of the choir and the marching band's new song. Remember the home games with your teammates, the whole school celebrating, the dances where you dance the night away. Oh, these memories have been made, now they're complete. Bittersweet. Time flew by, and we are at the end of our story. Walk out those doors, and we'll forever have these memories. Remember the cheering till you couldn't, hearing all the voices of the choir and the marching band's new song. Remember the home games with your teammates, the whole school celebrating, the dances where you dance the night away. Oh, these memories have been made, now they're complete. Bittersweet. Oh, bittersweet.
Whew. That was powerful. Thank you very much, Aime, for sharing that with us. If you're not a blubbering mess right now on the couch, I think we need to check your pulse. That was awesome. Thank you to all of our speakers and performers tonight. Let's get on with the next portion of our program. For decades, Farmington High School has had a proud tradition of welcoming students from all over the world into the high school. These students come to us from Europe and Asia, Africa, South America, and all places in between. While their home countries are different, they all come with a common goal: high hopes of living an American high school experience. They participate in our sports, in our arts, homecoming, prom, or Grand Promenade this year, and any number of high school activities. Continuing a tradition established 8 years ago, we have welcomed these students as part of our graduation ceremony. While not receiving an official Farmington High School diploma, we hope the experiences, the friendships, learning, and a certificate of attendance will provide enough memory of their time spent with us. Let's take a moment to recognize our foreign exchange students from the 1920 school year. Tomas Bucudo Ancana Arabare. Salvador Sibria Masferrier. Frisia Hallman. Beatrice Pelosi. And Lua Reyes Rodriguez. Congratulations to our foreign exchange students. Seniors, now it's your turn. Class of 2020, you have met the requirements of the state of Minnesota and Independent School District 192. By authority vested in me as principal of Farmington High School, I certify that the members of the class of 2020, gathered in their homes spread across Farmington and beyond, have completed all of the requirements and declared eligible to receive a diploma. At this time, we will begin reading the names of the graduates. This is a new one for me to say at graduation. When your graduate's name is called, feel free to yell as loud as you want. Go ahead, use noisemakers, cowbells, air horns. Make as much noise as you want. Now is the time to celebrate. You can celebrate as loud as you want because this is a huge moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2020.
Hi, I'm Ashley Anderson. I teach English here at FHS, and I'm here to introduce my 12th grade RAMP graduates. Izzy Jade Brunette, Maxwell James Thurl, Taylor Ann Weber, Tristan Michael Webster, Luke Corbus Werke, Gwendolyn Jane Wiggins, Hallie Grace Weinberger, Hunter William Wensman, Julia Michelle Warner, Tyler James Whipple, Morgan Lee Wiebold, Christian Martin Wilgos, Jeremy Michael William Sperrier, Hallie Marie Wohlers, Gabriellen Marie Wohler, Alexis Marie Wolt, Sijan Jeoger Xian, Vivian Chi Ia Yan, Lily Rose Junstrom, Bailey Wren Zimmer, Haley Joy Zinell, Isabel Mary Zwart.
Hi, I'm Beth Brayland. I teach English, mostly English 10 and AP Lit, and I'm here to introduce my RAMP kids who I will miss and I adore. Kaylin Lee Allen, Max Jeffrey Batta, Jack Matthew Bowerly, Caitlin Marie Baum, Gage Carl Bauman, Jack David Baumbach, Matthew Larry Beadle, Tyler Scott Bowen, Abigail Veronica Beck. Allison Bryn Beck. Callie Elizabeth Beck. Cedar David Benning. Kyle David Berg. TJ Philip Berglund. Nicholas Hunter Bergstag. Brady James Bernauer. Cody Brandon Bigby. Olivia Ray Bigby. Anna Marie Binion. Kevin Stephen Blackmore. Carson J. Blazing. Hunter Allen Blazevich. Logan James Blease. Rachel Sophie Blood. Carter Morris Boatman.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Cherwinka. I'm one of the art teachers here at FHS. I'm here to present my 12th grade RAMP graduation students. Taylor Marie Bockelman. Rachel Lynn Bolig. Ivan Bonilla. Kayla Natalie Bonilla. Kayla Marie Boren. Ryan Christopher Borlick Jr. Sham Peter Both. Marianne Margaret Bovey. Peyton Ripley Bowden. Anna Beth Bovey. Samantha Joanne Buens. Desiree Marie Brelgi. Luke Nicholas Briggs. Samantha Jo Brown. Casey Collier Brua. Autumn Ray Bruley. Joshua John Book. Ryan Taylor Buckert. Ashley Nicole Buckman. Isaac An Bowie. Emily Catherine Bunzy. Victoria Ellie Burge. Iris Burgos. Chuihai Chen. Thomas David Walsh. Eleanor Rose Walton.
My name is Spencer Evelbach. I'm a technology teacher at Farmington High School, and now I'll be introducing my 12th grade RAMP class. Kylie Anna Burr. Dylan Tungdak Kak. Jacob Lee Campbell. Andrea Candelario. Aiden Elijah Manning Caputo. Andrew Jean Carland. Nathan James Cash. Nicole Marie Cash. Alexander Daniel Cashman. Jonathan Satong Chandacombe. Micaiah Tay Childress. Andrew J. Christensen. Devin J. Christensen. Jenna Pearl Cabeto. Sarah Elizabeth Cohen. Zachary Todd Collett. Kinley Elizabeth Collier. Jacob Charles Combs. Ryland Thomas Cook. Casey Lee Corbessa. Donald Allen Cornelius. James Gregory Crabtree, Gavin Nelson Watkinson.
I'm John Graff, Department of Social Studies, and this is my senior ramp class of 2020. Nathan John Duro, Carlos Daniel Duran, Morgan May Ebel, Lauren Nicole Eccles, Lana Rita El Madini, Brianna Maria Ely, Michaela Dawn Evanger, Jordan Marie Eakin, TJ Funane, Kaylee Ann Farron, Elise Alejandra Farrell, Jocelyn Jessica Fearing, Dane Carter File, Kaylee Rose Felch, Cameron Lily Finstead, Camden John Fitzloff, Rachel May Foskett, Amber Rose Tidd, Zachary William Trevick, Taylor Bren Trokel.
I'm Heidi Yeager. I'm here to present my 12th grade ramp students. Andrew Wade Gorath, Carlos Allen Jackson, Andrew Donald Welter.
Hi, I'm Mary Pierce. Abby Wallen.
Hi, my name is Erin Holmes, the Director of Bands at Farmington High School. I'm so excited to read my ramp class of 2020. Panjipu Jonelle Jessica. Colin Scott Christensen. Nathan Andrew Kronbeck. Aaron Ray Cruzy. Reese Douglas Cruz. Madeline Marie Keene. Orion Andrew Kunkel. Andrew Tavish Kerme. Lucas David Layden. Nicholas Michael Lacose. Jordan Nicole Lamberson. James Ray Lansing. J. William Laramie. Ross Michael Larkin. Hallie Jacqueline Larson. Joshua James Larson. Austin Michael Lathrop. Evelyn Ann Leathers. Lauren McKenna Lee.
Hello, my name is Leah Halls, and I'm here to present my senior ramp class, graduating class of 2020. Bernadette Basario Lapore. Carter Russell Lemke. Robel S. Lemma. Benjamin Todd Lessert. Olivia Rose Lay. Sadie Marie Lixton. Christina Julia Liknikevich. Samuel Dean Linz. Emma Elaine Lord. Jezabella Loza. Jenna Ann Lubers. Gavin John Lund. Ethan Nathaniel Lundy. Carson Michael Lunzer. Alex Robert Lyons. Gavin Peter Mahoney. Colton Alexander Mack. Jada M. Mendelko. Pearl Chun Manocum. Eric Paul Markward. Cade John Marshall. Macy Ann Martin. Madison Renee Martin. Thomas Dean Martin.
Hello, I'm Adam Hoopert, here to announce my RAMP students for graduating class of 2020. Noah Michael Rebels. Maxwell Renane Raquelme. Naya Annalise Ladasha Robbins. Eli Allen Robinson. Lydia Marie Rowe. Natalie Pearl Rorick. Matthew Robert Rogstead. Haley Joanne Rose. Tyler Allen Rosenberg. Ryan William Rouleau. Caitlin Marie Rowe. Lily Skylar Rudine. Henry James Rust. Jasmine Savadre Lopez. Samantha Lynn Saffel. Stephanie Salvador Pena. Michelle Marie Sanchez. Renea Christine Sands. Laman Gran Serath. Camille Jolene Schachtel.
Hi, I'm Allison Johnson. I am part of the art department and I'm here to represent my RAMP class for graduation 2020. Dylan Patrick Modeski. Molly Darlene Morganson. Belraj Vishal Mohanlal. Caitlin Marie Moore. Ellie Kathleen Moan. Grace Madison Moore. Zachary Daniel Moore. Ethan James Moser. Peyton Lynn Mosher. Caden Alexander Mutcher. Carol Muller. Isabella Marie Munez. Jessica Florence Murch. Riley Charles Murphy. Rosemary K. Murphy. Nathan Murphy. Lexi Grace Musselman. Suraya Walid Nakib. Abigail Jean Nice. Bryn Clarice Nelson. Charlotte Olivia Nelson. Claire Roseanne Nelson. Daniel John Nelson. Jake William Nelson.
Hi, I'm Theron Johnson, mathematics teacher here at Farmington High School, Here to introduce my graduates from my ramp class. Tyrese Sir Freeman. Alexia Lorraine Freeges. Thomas Anthony Gallagher III. Maria Guadalupe Garcia Mendoza. Dylan Lloyd Gately. Karen Diane Geiger. Paige Elise Gerlach. Riley Lucille Gaio. Jonathan Floyd Gideon. Seth Joseph Goodrow. Jacob Robert Gordon. Ethan Michael Gorneris. Peter Lee Grant. Abigail Tierney Griffin. Michael Jeffrey Groves. Aaron Richard Gruber. Ryan Lloyd Gruber. Nicole Marie Grunman. Abigail Elizabeth Gustafson. Alexis Ann Castillo. Tyler Peter Gilling.
Todd Karich, Department of Social Studies. Jonathan Paul Emick. Zoe Elizabeth Haas. Jenna Elizabeth Hadler. Raymond Warren Haig III. Eric Robert Hagar. Emerson Rose Haynes. Elijah Joseph Hakala. Sawyer Allen Hall. Sophia Rose Hall. William John Hall III. Gwendolyn Faith Hallberg. Ella Lynn Hammond. Caitlin Grace Hand. Chase Emily Hanson. Ashley Ann Hanson. Joshua David Hart. Christina Valera Jane Hartung. Sabir Mohammed Hassan. Brendan Wade Hatch. Marcus Damon Hatton. Hunter James Headland. Madison Florence Hendricks.
Hello, my name is Amy Kienberger. I am a business teacher, and I will be presenting my 12th grade ramp students. Michaela Rose Jakubowski. Emma Sophia Jansen. Zachary Joseph Jarima. Claire Elizabeth Jasinski. Bailey K. Jeske. Aime Christina Jimenez. Neela Davy Jodan. Cassandra Leah Johnson. Christopher Grant Johnson. Emma Joellen Johnson. Mallory Aubrey Johnson. Mara Nicole Johnson. Vaughn Evan Johnson. Jonathan David Jones. Madison Ashley Jones. Lauren Lynn Jorgensen. Reed Richard Katerlick. Brady Joseph Kamarainen. Nathan Robert Kemuller. Rachel Lynn Kemuller. Emma Jean Carker. Andrew Norman Kawas. Madeline Irene Kearney. Bella Clara Kenneman.
Hi, my name is Michael Klein. I'm a math teacher, and here are my 12th grade RAMP graduates. Ellie Marie Kameo Matsui. Alexis Ray Maxwell. Luke Thomas Gunner Maccabee. Alana Margaret McGrail. Gabriel Daniel McGuire. Emma Elsie McLeese. Molly Rose McMahon. Samuel Thomas McMillan. Megan K. McMillan. Derek A. Meese. Emma Rosalba Melendez. Gabriella May Mercurio. Ethan Andrew Meyer. Gavin Michael Meyer. Lily Marie Milius. Lillian Faith Miller. John Kenneth Ulama. Benjamin Cole Unger. Eric W. Verchata. Victoria I. Chamaratin.
Hi, my name is Jason Kolbeck. I'm a family and consumer science teacher here at Farmington High School, and I'm pleased to announce my graduates from my RAMP class. Ashton Joy Heath. Brandon Robert Herrera. Jada Ray Herrera. Chloe Elise Herrig. Samuel William Hertzfeld. Hunter Thaddeus Hessa. Jack Robert Hetland. Matthew Dale Higgins. Madeline Bailey Hins. Rin Holloway. Sydney Elizabeth Hubbard. Grant Nathaniel Antoine Hubble. Kalen Jasper Moneypenny Hubrid. Alexandria Marie Hunt. Carter William Hushka. Austin Scott Lee Hutchins. Levia T. Hun. Montez Curtis Jackson. Benjamin Mark Jacobson. Ashley Lynn Jarrus. Zachary Tyler Walton. Grace Fern Warner.
I'm Renee Kothe. I teach French and Spanish here at Farmington High School, and I'm here to present my RAMP seniors for graduation. Matthew Alton Scheffler. Zoe Lorraine Schenzel. Jordan Paige Schmaltz. Noelle Maria Schmidt. Jack Allen Schneider. Kyle William Schultz. Ian James Schultz. Callie Ann Schwartz. Sophie Ann Seeger. Dylan Hunter Seidel. Colby Mason Selk. Zachary Paul Sellen. Ellie Jean Seifert. Logan Everett Schaefer. Eli Shannon. Isaac Lee Shabak. Alec Matthew Sheridan. Sonia Ali Shinwari. Logan Jeremy Schulteis. Madison Marie Short. Ethan Paul Sickman. Gracie Lee Sigler. Chad Carter Silber. Anna Michelle Singwald. Tyler Ann Treitline.
Hi, I'm Miss LaChapelle from the PE and Health Department, here to announce my Ramp 12 names. Isaac Daniel Abi. Subaida Muhammad Abdi. Sumaya Omar Abdullahi. Andrew Thomas Adamson. Bryce Jacob Aguilar. Nathan A. Alamayo. Caitlin Elizabeth Albee. Carter Patrick Altman. Kayla Jane Annis. Samantha Lee Annenson. Christopher Kwame Nana Antwi. Alvaro Alexander Arce. Grace Mary Auger. Alexandra Christine Auger. Haley Lynn Bali. Haley Marie Bailiff. Catherine Jane Bartell. Julia Lynn Barton. Gabriel Kevin Bassett. Gabriel Arthur Blanchard.
Hello, I'm Kelly Langdon. I teach English here at the high school, and I am about to introduce my ramp class of 2020. Olivia Grace Dahl. Noah Maganda Dolan. Caden John Davis. Megan Ray DeBoer. Lucas Del Dentinger. Cole Michael DeWolf. Gracie Claire Dexter. Lorelei Ann Diaz. Sydney Noel DiBapellis. Joseph Fawzi Dimian. Julia Christine Doe. Luke Stephen Dorman. Vladimir Corin Doyle. Thomas David Drill. Jaden Elizabeth Drummer. Cody Michael Dice. Jacob Scott Duncan. Parker Dylan Dupay. Sky Amore Wag. Morgan Faith Wagner.
Hello, I'm Miss Laube, and I am super proud to present my 12th grade ramp, who I love very much. Justin Canay. Ashley Ann Kelly. Christopher Michael David Kelly. Carter Dylan Kennedy. Riley Francis Kennedy. Rory Elizabeth Kent. Charles Allen Kerr. Alexander Oginda Kiagi. Callie Marie Kiefit. Charlie Stephen Keel. Shane Allen Camis. Caitlin Rose Kincaid. Andra Renee Kirchmeyer. Joseph Martin Kitts. Ashley Joanne Kitzman. Joshua Aaron Klicka. Brianna Lee Cook. Maxwell Robert Cook. Amber Ellen Kohler. Seth Virgil Krause. Joshua Evans Krulich. Shihab Mahmood. Cynthia Mead. Jaden Christine Walenta. Isla Grace Walsh.
Jen Marshall, Physical Education Department. Here are my ramp students. Gavin Thomas Orser. Meredith Rachel Osblum. Riley Sean Owen. Angie Caroline Paredes Ramos. Camille Ray Parrish Helmick. Sophia Grace Patchke. Emma Nicole Pattengill. Jessica Rose Paul. Olivia Autumn Pearson. Hannah Catherine Peterson. Luke Donald Peterson. Tucker Jace Peterson. Evan Rex Pettis. Elizabeth Serena Phillips. Naomi Yadim Pina. Eric Allen Pomeranke. Jason Eric Porter. Riley Andrew Price. Ashti Ramjatan. Stefania Ramos Rivas. Michael Charles Rasmussen. Lena Rathsaphone. Joshua Douglas Ronhorst. Jose Ricardo Ellis Reedy. Paige Margaret Reichert.
I'm Brian Onsorg, choir director here at Farmington High School. Here are my senior ramp graduates. Andrew Jude Shostrand. Emily Sue Skluzacek. Nicholas William Skoda. Colby Keith Slayton. Justin Allen Smith. Jake Connor Smithson. Alexis K. Snyder. Noelle Elizabeth Soini. Connor J. Sopland. Logan Daniel Spano. Caden Michael Spikers. Joseph Todd Stahl. Richard Anthony Stahl. Lydia Marie Stark. Jesse Anthony Steinkamp. Alexander Zachary Stenger. Jace Matthew Sterner. Kaylee Jennifer Stevenson. Lauren Renee Visca. Anna Elizabeth Vogel. Ethan Chemang Vu. Savannah Carol Wog.
I'm Mark Ronald Picard, and here to announce my ramp class, the graduating class of 2020. Megan Marie New. Megan An Kai Win. Philip Long Win. Tien Long Win. Ellie Jo Nielsen. Allison Lee Nixon. Tyler Wayne Norris. Emily Lauren Novotny. Kay Lee Nutter. Patrick Aiden O'Brien. Maya Rochelle O'Reilly. Brody Michael Okers. Cole William Okers. Kaylee Joe O'Heels. Drew Isaac Olson. Tegan Daniel Olson. Trevor Dylan Olson. Sylvia Rose Wagner. Haley Joe Wald. Anna Marie Wallace.
Hello, I'm Corey Smith, social studies teacher here at Farmington High School, and I'm here to present my senior ramp class. Sophia Lynn Stokes. Christine Elizabeth Storley. Samantha Paola Suazo Lobo. Samuel Jung Q. Lee Silman. William John Sundit. Mackenzie Lynn Swanson. Kalab Seifu Tedesi. Ashley Ann Tagorapasad. Olivia Elizabeth Talley. Morgan Rihanna Tangen. Aiden Visna Tarango. Andrew Stephen Cheetah. Hayden Richard Thomas. Adrian Christine Thompson. Brandon Michael Thompson. Jessica Tasha Talak. Bren Mavis Timerson. Jackson David Todd. Fong Kan Tong. Madison Faye Tonsager. Zachary Patrick Tui. Bailey Adeline Torbert. Christopher Joshua Torres. Edward Harrison Tran. Ethan Jacob Trapp. Janeth Michelle Zalazar.
Okay, I'm going to need a little participation here. Will the class of 2020 please rise? For real. All seniors need to stand up. I'll wait. Seniors, if you've not already done so, please move the tassel from the right side to the left side. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Farmington High School class of 2020. Seniors, you are now officially graduated. Go ahead and throw those caps. Congratulations, class of 2020. That concludes the commencement ceremony. Stay tuned for some closing remarks from the ISD 192 school board members. Now let's go celebrate.
Class of 2020, I'm a mom of a senior, and I know that this whole pandemic thing has really stolen the best parts of high school. What I can say is we are all so very proud of you, and although this hasn't turned out the way that we had planned, we are here to honor all of your hard work and accomplishments for the last 13 years. Congratulations, Class of 2020.
Hello, Farmington Class of 2020. This is Board Member Carrero. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for all of your hard work and dedication to make it to graduation. The Class of 2020 has not only made its own mark throughout their high school career, but your lives are marked in history by the pandemic in the same way that our previous generations experienced wars. I know that FaceTime, Zoom, and other forms of digital communication do not have the same effect as being with our friends and family and loved ones or in person during graduation. What you have endured and learned over these past several months dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic has given you a great advantage in life. It has shown you how to overcome the impossible, how to preserve, learn on the fly, and create your own niche in the world. Each of you will now be challenged with rebuilding society, adjust and endure in the job market, as well as creating a better world, and all of it's within your reach. Congratulations, Farmington Class of 2020. You will always be remembered. Congratulations.
Hello, Farmington graduating class of 2020. This is just a quick note to wish you all a huge congratulations, not only on graduation, but on all of your accomplishments this year. We live in an unprecedented time at the moment, and you guys had a year marked with adversity and uncertainty, but through it all, you have shown grace and patience, and you found countless ways to celebrate the milestones that you unfortunately had to miss this year. But know that that's something that will follow you as you continue through life, knowing that you were the class of 2020, that you overcame a lot of obstacles, and I have no doubt you will continue to do that and rise to any challenges that are in your way. But again, congratulations and best of luck in the future.
Congratulations! I'm so glad we're able to join you virtually. Congratulations on your graduation, the class of 2020. I know it's been tough, but without no struggle, there's no strength. And you guys have each worked individually hard to get to this moment, no matter where you're at. You've had the help of teachers, parents, friends, family, and everyone else to help you get this far. So thanks for working so hard to get here. Congratulations, and I wish you the very best in your future endeavors.
Hi, Farmington graduating class of 2020. I am sure today will only be the first of many proud and successful moments for you. You have had to endure a senior year like no other, and you have risen above it all. My advice for you is follow your heart, listen to your gut, and never let go of your dreams. Take pride in everything you do, and most of all, be happy. Congratulations, Farmington class of 2020!
Hey, FHS class of 2020. By now you should have received your diploma and turned your tassel over to the other side of your cap. You're officially graduated. I know this isn't the celebration that you had hoped and dreamed for over the last 13 years, or the last couple of months of your senior year that you had been planning on, but that shouldn't take away from the significance of your senior year and of your graduation. I have no doubt in my mind that the Farmington High School class of 2020 will go off and do great things. You've persevered through this pandemic, and that tells me that you'll be able to overcome anything that gets in your way. And it's my hope that this situation has taught you some great lessons, most importantly, empathy, a quality many people forget about during times like these. So from a member of the class of 2009 to the newest members of our alumni ranks, you, the Farmington High School class of 2020, congratulations. I am so proud of each and every one of you. I wish you all the best as you go out and take on the world.